I never thought I'd be the kind of person who could be erased from their own family's picture. But that's exactly what happened. My name is Jordan. I'm 26, work 2 jobs, and still share a cramped apartment with a roommate whose idea of cleaning is spraying Febreze on pizza boxes. Life isn't easy, but I'm doing what I can, paying rent, saving for a beat-up car, and hoping one day I'll catch a break. And through all of it, I never once blamed my dad. He remarried when I was 14, just 2 years after Mom passed. Her name is Melissa, and from day one, she made it clear that I wasn't going to be part of her new beginning. She never yelled, never hit, but that's what made it worse. It was the way she'd smile when she locked me out of family photos. The way she made separate meals and said I had different tastes. How she called me Kara's leftover, like I was some forgotten piece of furniture from his old life. But I stuck it out. For Dad. Because I wanted to believe that one day, maybe he'd remember that I was still his son. So when he called me last month, all excited about their new house, I was genuinely happy for him. Jordan, it's got 5 bedrooms, a backyard big enough for dogs, and even a finished basement. Melissa's dream place. I smiled, despite the pit in my stomach. That sounds amazing, Dad. Need help with the move? He paused, just for a second, and then said, "You'd do that for us?" Of course I would. So I took time off. Rented a van with my own money. Hauled boxes, unwrapped furniture, even installed the new dishwasher when the plumber flaked. For 2 straight days, I worked myself to the bone. Melissa barely spoke to me. Just nodded from across the room like I was a delivery guy. Still, I thought, maybe this is progress. Maybe if I keep showing up, they'll see I still care. That I'm trying. The day I left, I handed Dad a bottle of wine I'd saved up for, a housewarming gift. He seemed touched. "You didn't have to." I shrugged, hiding the exhaustion behind a forced smile. "Well, it's not every day you get your dream home." He clapped me on the back. "Thanks, son." Really? That moment, small as it was, meant everything to me. Until a week later, I found out on Instagram. Melissa had posted a perfectly curated photo carousel, the new house decked out, wine glasses in hand, string lights across the backyard, 30 smiling faces raising toasts. Their housewarming party. And I wasn't there. I scrolled through every photo like I was searching for proof I hadn't been erased. A group shot of Melissa's friends, my dad in the middle, laughing with people I didn't recognize. No sign of me. No mention. Then I saw the caption. "Surrounded by the people who supported our journey from the beginning. Here's to new chapters, without old mistakes holding us back." I read it twice. Old mistakes. It hit me like a punch to the throat. She was talking about me. I didn't cry. Not at first. I just stared at the screen, realizing that no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I gave, I would always be the shadow in their perfect picture, the one they edited out. And the worst part? My dad let it happen. For 3 days, I said nothing. I didn't text, didn't call. I didn't even open their messages, though a few came in, vague ones from my dad like, "Hey bud, hope everything's okay. Saw you liked Melissa's post. Let me know if you want to talk." But what was I supposed to say? "Hey Dad, thanks for letting your wife publicly erase me from your life? Cheers for inviting 30 strangers to your celebration while the guy who installed your dishwasher ate ramen in a studio apartment?" No. I stayed silent. Until I got a message from my cousin Ellie. She'd been at the party. "I didn't know you weren't invited," she wrote. "I asked Melissa where you were and she said that part of our lives is closed." That was it. Something snapped. I grabbed my jacket and keys and drove straight to their mansion. I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but I knew I couldn't carry the weight of silence any longer. Dad opened the door. He looked surprised to see me. "Jordan, hey. This is a surprise." I stepped inside without asking. The living room was pristine. Of course. Hardwood floors, a fireplace with no soot, cream-colored everything like a magazine ad that forgot to include a soul. Melissa appeared at the top of the stairs, holding a cup of tea like royalty. "Jordan," she said flatly, "did you need something?" I turned to Dad. "Just one question. Why?" He blinked. "Why what? Why wasn't I invited to your party? Why did your wife tell people I'm a closed chapter?" Melissa gave a little laugh. A smirk. "Really? Jordan, it was a small gathering. 30 people," I snapped. "You had neighbors I've never met here. But not me." Dad rubbed his forehead. "We didn't think you'd want to come. You've been distant." I couldn't help it. I laughed. "Distant? I literally moved your furniture. I installed your damn dishwasher. I gave you wine I couldn't afford. And you threw a party in the house I helped you move into without me. Melissa's voice cut in. Smooth. I see. We were trying to start fresh. The truth is, Jordan, your presence, it doesn't exactly fit our new life. I turned to my father. And you just stood there and let her say that? He opened his mouth, closed it. Then I saw it. On the kitchen counter, a folder. Curiosity pushed me. I flipped it open. Inside was a bank document, a joint account, my dad's and Melissa's names at the top, and a wire transfer receipt. From my college fund. $28,000. Gone. Transferred just 2 months ago. What the hell is this? Dad paled. Jordan, you told me that fund was frozen. That after Mom died, the paperwork got too messy. Melissa moved quickly to grab the folder, but I held it high. You used the money Mom saved for my future to buy this house? Dad's voice cracked. We were short for the down payment, and Melissa thought I didn't matter, that I was an old mistake, a burden. So you let her steal my future. Again, I dropped the folder on the floor. Melissa didn't say a word. Her silence was louder than any insult she could have thrown. And my dad? He just stood there. I left without another word. I didn't slam the door. I didn't cry until I reached the car. But in that moment, something inside me shifted. For years, I kept showing up, hoping to be chosen, hoping to be seen. But they were never going to see me. They saw who I used to be, Dot. And what they wanted me to stay, silent, grateful, invisible. After I left their mansion, I drove for hours, Dot. No music, no GPS. Just the silence of a boy who finally realized his place in the story was never meant to be on the cover. I ended up back at my apartment. I sat in the dark for a long time. Let the rage simmer into grief. Let the grief boil down into clarity. Because something finally clicked. I've been begging for scraps of time, of love, of basic decency from people who never saw me as more than a footnote, Dot. Melissa didn't hate me, Dot. She just didn't care if I existed. And my father? He let her erase me because it was easier than standing up. That night, I posted a message online. Not to be petty, not to be cruel, just the truth. I helped my dad and stepmom move into their mansion. I bought them wine. I installed their appliances. I wasn't invited to their housewarming party. Found out they used the college fund my mom left me to help pay for the house. It's fine, though. At least now I know where I stand. I didn't use names. Didn't tag anyone. But it went viral anyway. The next morning, my inbox exploded. Hundreds of messages from strangers. People sharing their own stories of being cast aside by parents, step-parents, or families who thought love was conditional. Even Ellie, my cousin, messaged again. Jordan, I'm so sorry. I didn't know about the fund. I really thought Uncle Dave would never do that. She offered to tell the rest of the family. I told her not to bother. I wasn't interested in vengeance. I was just done pretending. And then something unexpected happened. My roommate, the one I always thought was just background noise with a beard, knocked on my door. He was holding 2 beers and looking weirdly serious. Hey man, he said. Saw your post. Kinda blew up, huh? I nodded. Listen. I know I've been a terrible roommate, and I don't know what you need right now, but if you ever want to crash in my room and just talk or scream into a pillow or something, I got you. That might sound small, but to me, it was the first time in weeks someone looked me in the eye and saw a human being. So I started building, not out of bitterness, out of survival. I enrolled in night classes, something I'd put off for years. Got a second-hand laptop. Reached out to a community fund that helped students whose families stole or lost financial aid. They granted me a partial scholarship after reading my story. I started documenting the process online, not for attention, but to stay accountable. But the attention came anyway. People wanted to support me, and I let them. One night, Ellie called again. She'd been quiet since I told her I was done with the family. I know you don't want to hear from me, she said, but I wanted you to know. Grandpa found out. My grandfather, my mom's father, had seen the post too. And apparently he was furious. He cut off financial ties with my dad. Wrote me into his will. I cried when I heard that. Not for the money, but because someone finally chose me. Not for what I could give. Not out of guilt. Just because. The last time I saw my father, it wasn't dramatic. No final speech. No angry door slam. Just silence. I had nothing left to prove. And for the first time, I didn't want anything from him. Not love. Not validation. Not even closure. Some people say family is forever. But I've learned, forever only works when both sides fight to hold on. He stopped fighting a long time ago. So I stopped bleeding for someone who wouldn't even offer a bandage. The more I let go of their world, the more I saw the one I was building for myself. Classes were hard, but I loved learning again. I started tutoring younger students, mostly kids from complicated homes like mine. One of them told me, "You're the first adult who listens without judging." That wrecked me, because that was all I ever wanted growing up. To be heard, to be seen. And now, I was becoming that person for someone else. I eventually moved out of the apartment I'd shared with my roommate. Got a small one-bedroom near campus. It wasn't much, creaky floors, weird plumbing, but it was mine. I painted the walls whatever color I wanted. Put up photos of people who actually made me smile. Made Sunday mornings about pancakes and jazz and windows wide open. No pretending. No performance. Just peace. Melissa and my father? They kept posting their picture-perfect life online. Birthday parties I wasn't invited to. Vacations I wasn't told about. One time, they even posted an anniversary caption that said, "Here's to 10 years of cutting out toxicity." It didn't hurt anymore. Because I knew they weren't cutting out toxicity. They were cutting out accountability. Sometimes people ask me if I miss them. And the truth? No. I miss the version of them I wished existed. But I don't miss the silence. The emotional manipulation. The invisible leash around my neck, reminding me I'd never be enough for Melissa's new chapter. Let her keep her chapters. I'm writing my own book now. Recently, I published an essay online about family estrangement and rebuilding from rock bottom. It got picked up by a local publication. They paid me for it. It wasn't much, just a few $100. But it was the first time my voice paid for something in full. And I'll never forget that feeling. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even bitter. I'm just done. Done chasing ghosts. Done explaining my worth. Done giving my heart to people who only know how to throw stones. And you know what? That's not loss. That's liberation. Sometimes the family you're born into won't be the one who holds you when you're falling apart. Sometimes you'll be your own rescue. And sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's the most courageous thing you'll ever do.